Let's make braised pork belly with pickled mustard greens, or Thịt Kho Dưa Chua. This recipe is from the depths of my childhood. It's incredibly underrated compared to the more popular varieties of Thịt Kho, but the sour notes from the pickled mustard greens helps cut the fattiness of the braised pork belly. And it's absolutely a perfect symphony of contrasting flavors of sweet, savory, salty, and tangy, all in one bite. Alright chill, remember to wash your hands. We're going to be touching a lot of our food today, so we'll make sure that we wash them thoroughly and often throughout the entire process. The first step is taking 2 pounds of our skin-on pork belly and parboiling it for about 10 minutes. This will help get rid of some of the porky funk and gunk. Then make sure you thoroughly rinse and scrub the pork belly under cold water. Then we're going to cut our pork belly into 1/2-inch bite-sized pieces, and if you can't find skin on pork belly, feel free to use any pork belly you can get your hands on, or even pork shoulder or a leaner cut of pork if you want to cut down on some of the calories. I really like the pork skin in this recipe when it's rendered in the braising process. It just melts in your mouth. And do me a favor, if you like this recipe and want to learn how to make more of your favorite Vietnamese and Asian recipes, make sure you hit that subscribe button for me. Once our pork belly is all cut up, we'll throw that into a mixing bowl to get that marinated. We'll hit that with a tablespoon of minced garlic, and I always have some prepped and ready to go. But if you don't, now would be the time to mince it. Then we'll finally dice a small shallot and add that to the bowl. We're gonna season this with a tablespoon of fish sauce, 1/2 tablespoon of sugar, 1/2 tablespoon of MSG, and some salt and pepper. And the full recipe and measurements is gonna be on my blog at feedthepudge.com. We'll get our hands dirty and give that a good mix. And then we're gonna let that vibe out in the fridge for about 1/2 an hour. Then we'll make our nước màu or caramel, which is just 3 tablespoons of sugar. Add that to a pot on medium-low. During recipe testing, I found that the easiest way to make the nước màu is just by slowly heating up the sugar by itself, while occasionally stirring until it turns a dark amber color. But some folks will actually add water, oil, or even coconut water while they're making it. These are all absolutely valid ways, but I find that the sugar tends to crystallize too easily, and this method is much more foolproof. When your sugar turns this nice amber color, our nước màu is done. We'll add in our marinated pork and any of the marinade into the pot. We'll brown the pork belly for just a few minutes, and if your sugar starts to clump up here, don't even worry about it. It'll eventually dissolve. To the pot, we'll add in about 1 cup of water. Feel free to sub out for Coco Rico instead if you want. We're gonna bring that up to a boil and then throw in a couple of whole Thai chilies. Reduce the heat, and then we'll let that simmer covered for about 1/2 an hour. After our pork has been simmering, we're gonna add in a couple tablespoons of fish sauce and season to taste with some sugar and salt. This is some pickled mustard greens that my mom gave me, and I've had it sitting in my fridge for a while now. Feel free to use any store-bought version, but if you need a recipe for that, I'll have one up in the near future. I rinsed the pickled mustard greens to get rid of some of the excess salt before adding it into the pot. I'm gonna give that a good mix and then let that simmer for about 5 minutes to let all the flavors marry together. Then add some black pepper and make any final adjustments to your seasoning, and then it's time to plate. I'm just gonna get this all into a bowl with some of the sauce. And I'm serving this with white rice and a side of blanched veggies like this rosé. This is such an old school Vietnamese recipe that brings back a ton of nostalgia. And that's our Thịt Kho Dưa Chua. Thanks for watching, hope you enjoy, and don't forget to subscribe.